Well, welcome back to the Mental Margarita Show. Kelly Moore of Smooth Brides Hair and Makeup. We're so glad to have you back with us. How are you, Kelly?
Oh, thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm great. Thank you. How's it going?
It's going well. So good to see you again. And we've
Yeah,
got
you
some
too.
updates and we're going to talk about a few different things. But just to remind the audience, you're a celebrity makeup artist. You do bridal hair and makeup, among other types of events and things, and also spray tan. And you do offer different specials and deals.
Yeah,
And have I left anything out?
I don't think so. No, hair, airbrush makeup, spray tan, false eyelashes, and we're mobile, so we travel to the client. Yeah, I
Even
think
better.
you.
Even
Yeah.
better. You can save yourself a trip, and Kelly and her crew will come right to you. So, what we're excited about is, this year we see trends come and go and change. So, we wanted to we had some questions and just kind of
Sure.
wanted to know what's your most requested hairstyle this year that's been kind of the most popular that people are going for.
The vintage kind of pinup classic look is so in for bridal because I don't know, it's just classic, it's timeless, a little bit like the way you look right now, the red lipstick, vintage hair with the wave and very Marilyn Monroe-ish, but it's just so popular. So I do require all my stylists to know and be very familiar with that kind of era so that they can do that. That's really in right now. Soft smoky eyes with a nude lip and kind of a fresh glowy airbrush look. That's also very in and popular in Vegas. She's great. We love doing
So,
that.
so moving on to makeup. So that is
Mm.
that kind of the most common coming up for the year coming in 2025. Are we going to see some changes, more colorful and bold looks, or are we still kind of going with natural, more subtle?
We get a variety in Vegas. I mean, just the other day, I mean, we do get a lot of theme weddings. So the other day I just did this theme wedding and she wanted a very dramatic gothic look with very dark smoky eyes, a very pale face, and she had rhinestones all put on her cheeks and everything, which looked amazing. It was really fun. And then she said they're doing it at a chapel where they do theme weddings. So she was getting married by Beetlejuice, was her officiant, and her brother was going as a dinosaur. So, only in Vegas you can do these things. So, yeah, that's fun. We just get all kinds from natural to dramatic. So, we can't really say how it's going to go. Just everybody's different
And
that comes here.
and we want the audience to know, whatever you want or you're trying to achieve, Kelly and
Yeah,
her team will try to make it happen for you, and they'll do what they
we
need
can
to
do
do
it.
to make it possible.
Yeah.
Definitely. So another thing that people may not realize is that you teach and
Yes.
you have many, many years of experience in this business. And
Yeah.
so you're very busy. We are in the wedding capital of the world. So weddings is an everyday affair in Las Vegas.
Every day.
So you have a stylist coming out of beauty school. What are things that you're looking for when they come to you to kind of hone their skills, specialize in things? What's like the minimum before they can join your team and start learning some of the more techniques to have their own business and be part of your team?
Well, having some form of education is great. They have to have something. If not, they have to do my classes. So, if they've got their esthetician license or they've done some training, that's great. But I do still require them to do a little course with me just to tell them how we work, and they have to have liability insurance as a freelancer because they are freelance independent contractors. So that is really important that they have their own liability insurance. And we sign a little contract, a freelancer contract, just to say how we work and what we expect and everything. And that's basically it. They have to be talented and passionate. That's really important. And just have that passion for doing it because some people don't and they're going to come into all kinds of situations and you've got to just go with it and know what you're doing. And yeah, so I do train them. I mean, I've been doing this for so long and you meet all kinds of people and it's their big day. So you're going to get all kinds of emotions, family members watching you, criticizing. You've got to have a pretty thick skin, and expect the unexpected because anything can happen in the room, and just like it's different than working on set or maybe on a beauty counter or in a salon. It's just very different. You're dealing with people every day. different people.
Right. And
So that's
if you don't want to work with people, don't be in this business. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. And if you don't want to do a lot of walking in Vegas, because it does require, it's freelance. We go into the hotels, we carry our bags, so it's quite physical. But it's great. It's very rewarding. I mean, just being a makeup artist, you can expand in so many different areas. So it's great. Love it.
And how often do you offer your classes? Is this something that they can schedule it with you? You do one-on-one? Do you have a class setting?
Yeah.
How does it?
So I do have a home studio, so it's very personal. They can have one-on-one classes or a few. It's a really small home studio, so I usually teach about three good people at a time, stylists at a time. They can either do a 3 to 6 month course or just a one-off course. They have to schedule it with me. Depends what they want, if they want to just learn certain skills or they just want a refresher course and I teach them everything like what they need in their makeup kit, what to expect in the rooms, different themes, how to deal with, I don't know, people in general, because you have to be personable and just, know different makeup looks, skin types, age groups. So it's a great course. I've put together a really great course, so I'm hoping more people will come and join us.
Speaking of the business, you're giving people an opportunity to be able to work for themselves
Hmm.
and, have even if it's something they do on the side or, help on weekends or something,
That's
it's
right.
really empowering someone to take a different path and try something new. If they've just gone to
Yes,
school and you're not quite sure what direction they want to go in, this is a great option.
it really is. It really is. And like I said, being a makeup artist, there's so many different avenues from work in production to theater to runway to bridal, so that gives them the opportunity. They might not like doing bridal. I mean, it is quite physical, it's challenging. It can get really crazy busy on some months, and then some months it's really quiet. So they have to be prepared for that. You never really know what you're going to make at the end of the month because you can have, I don't know, like April is extremely busy, but maybe February is really slow. So you've got to be prepared for these up and down kind of, it's an up and down career, but it is very rewarding and fantastic. So yeah.
To accommodate those different schedule situations, you offer midweek deals and someone's just going out to have a good time or a bachelorette party. It doesn't necessarily have to be a wedding. It could be grandma's
Oh
90th birthday.
yeah,
Even
absolutely.
grandma can get fixed up too for her special day. And this is for the men too. Sometimes they need
Oh,
some touch-ups and highlights and may want to try out some different looks themselves. So it's for
absolutely.
everyone. It's for everyone.
Yes.
A little touch of color. You can do the spray tan without the harmful sun.
Yep.
So
Yeah, we do groom packages as well. So we have that a lot actually. It's a big request because on the day maybe the groom wants to look fresh too. So we have that, we offer that. And oh yeah, it's absolutely for everything, every occasion, not just bridal. We do all kinds of events and that's the great thing that if we hire stylists, they may not just do bridal, we might send them out for an event at a restaurant or in a nightclub. Girls want to get glamorous, they want a night out. So bachelorette parties, everything. We do everything.
and in Las Vegas, we have all of those opportunities every day. So
Every day, 7 days a week. Yeah, it's fab.
so speaking of the everyday can get a little hectic, can get a little crazy.
Mhm.
Um, I try to do as much as I can in a short amount of time when it comes to putting on makeup and getting ready for the day. So
Absolutely.
is there a tip that you can give us to help simplify the daily routine when it comes to our face and hair?
So you know what I love? And it's called, what is it called? It's the multi-purpose cream blush by NARS. And I absolutely love it because you can just pop that thing in your bag and you can, halfway through the day, your blush is faded or whatever, your lips faded. So instead of carrying all your different things, you take out your multi-purpose stick and it's got it in all different shades. You put a little bit on your cheeks, just freshen you up. You can put a little on your lips and even on your eyes. And it just helps. And also a good setting spray helps. So, and a primer. So before you put your foundation, put your primer. And after you've done your makeup, give it a good spray with setting spray, and then take your blush stick with you, and you're good to go. That's what I do when I'm on the run.
Oh, that's great. And it keeps everything in place and where it should be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of great makeup products about right now. I mean, eyebrow products and all different things that you can take. Highlighter is a great one, just give it a little highlight here and there, freshen you up. So, yeah, there's so many nice products. But I love the blush stick. It's fab.
Call Kelly. Smoothbrides.com has before and after pictures. You can see some of her amazing work there. Find out what you've been on TV as well. 90 Day Fiance, Say Yes to the Dress.
Yeah.
The list goes on of all the things that you've done in your career. And we're so glad that you're here in Las Vegas and also
Thank
able to
you.
share this gift with others as well.
Yeah.
And creating those opportunities. So thank you so much. And you know what, folks, if you mention the Mental Margarita Show, you're doing a special 20% off wedding parties of 3 or more. Is that right?
Yes, it is. We do great discounts. And we are also looking to expand our team. So anybody who wants to join, any makeup artists who want to join our team, please get in touch because we are expanding and we're getting a lot more work coming in as we speak. The work is coming in and we need a really good, enthusiastic team. And we give great deals to the brides and bridal parties. So yeah, check us out. And
All
I'm
right.
I'm very blessed. Thank you to have me on the show, by the way. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. It's always great to sit and visit and talk with you more. And
Thank you.
how do you prefer people reach you? Do you want them to call you, go to the website?
Yeah, they can email me, call me, text me. Text is probably better because I might not answer the phone, but I might be busy. But yeah, email, text, check out the website, have a look. We've got Instagram, all the social media and everything, TikTok, Facebook. So yeah, get in touch.
Wonderful. Well, always a pleasure, Kelly. Thank you again
Thank
so much.
you.
And
Great.
we'll see you again soon for any updates.
Yay. Thank you.
All right, you're
Bye.
welcome. Have a
Take
great
care.
day.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Meet celebrity makeup artist Kelly Moore, owner of Smooth Brides Hair and Makeup. They offer hair, makeup, and spray tanning services in the Las Vegas Valley for all occasions: weddings, bachelorette parties, corporate events, photo shoots, or even a night on the town. Smooth Brides will bring everything you need for all hair and makeup events. They offer group discounts and midweek deals. Mention the Mental Margarita Show and receive 20% off wedding parties of 3 or more.
Some things never change, man. Some things never change.
No, sir. No, sir. Yeah, they ain't doing too well, but
I know.
that's what
Jeff, what's going on with the
that's why I'm going to Vegas so I can put in the. I got to go in the back. I got to talk to him and say, I said, I got to take y'all back, man. We can get Swerving Mervin back on the field.
Oh, swerving, boy.
You know what I mean? We gotta get. I don't know what's going on with this squad. I said,
I'm
y'all too
telling you,
busy giving
man.
Tom Brady all the money. Y'all need to go get some players.
I know, right? Well, look, I hope that the draft we get us a quarterback. I mean, we dying for a quarterback, man.
Man, listen. I've been partially upset ever since they let go what you call it to Chicago, and I was like, wait a minute, why y'all
The Matt.
back? Why y'all did that? And then all of a sudden, when I saw uh what you call it when they tried to bring in crazy ass uh what you call it from Pittsburgh.
Antonio Brown.
Oh Jesus Christ, this man.
Oh my.
But I'm thinking we're gonna have a squad. I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden, we lose a quarterback, we lose Jacobs. I'm like, what?
We live Henry Ruggs.
We lose Henry Ruggs. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh.
You know who's next? Oh man, it's gonna be Mad Max. He next.
I hope not, man.
Man, look, it's somebody like him. You like, wait a minute, this man doing the most.
He is
He
doing
gonna be
FIFA.
out of there. I mean, 'cause look, we just lost Adams too, so
I know,
it
man.
ain't like we didn't have a squad. It's like, what they doing? They making more money with the Tom Brady. He ain't coming on the field.
I'm telling you, man. And you know what? It's a curse. It almost feels like
Yeah,
it's a curse with this organization, man. One thing after another.
I don't know what it is, but and then they got the new Death Star out there in Vegas. I'm like, okay, you got everything. So now what's up? What's
Have
this?
you been in there?
I've been outside, so that's the plan this weekend. I got to do some stuff for wrestling, with a building because I'm gonna be doing the thing during WrestleMania week because they bringing WrestleMania out to Vegas.
Wow.
It's gonna be crazy, yeah.
Oh,
Because
snap.
so just to put it in your head, how WrestleMania in itself is big, but during the week they contact companies like mine and say we want y'all to put on events throughout the town. And
Oh,
so you think about it, you got WrestleMania, which is like the Super Bowl of wrestling, but then you got all these other parties and events that's gonna be happening. And it's gonna be they call it Mania Week, which is
oh my goodness. It's going to be off the chain.
there's nothing but a bunch of wrestling fans and super nerds and but it's
Oh,
gonna
man.
be a lot of you think
I
money's
love
already
that.
out there. It's gonna be crazy out there with that. Yeah, man.
I love that. I'm cool with that kind of environment, man. I
No,
like
yeah.
that. I'm like, because me, like, I'm like a kid. Like, even though
Oh, I'm
love,
still
I'm
that too.
still like a kid. There's things that I enjoy. And
Right.
wrestling, when my grandfather was alive
Uh-huh.
and I was like 4 or 5, and
Okay.
I never forget, being in Miami, being at grandma's house. And this was
Uh-huh.
when you had Gordon Soley.
Gordon
This is
Soley.
this is when you had Dusty Rhodes.
There you
You
go.
know, I mean, this is when you had Harley Race. I mean, this is how much of a fan
Yeah.
I was of wrestling.
Man, I've always been like that. And the crazy thing is that that week that's coming, I mean, Vegas is always money town with, everybody coming in and all the performers. But then to bring the wrestling element, man, you're gonna see it's just gonna be crazy. I'm about to wow you out. December 7th, I'm gonna stay down in Miami because I live in Atlanta now. I live in Atlanta.
Okay.
Okay. But December 7th, I have an event that I do 4 times a year. We call it Reefer Mania. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, dude. It's put it like this: if you Google Reefer Mania Miami, I'm not gonna say nothing. You're gonna be like, "What the hell?"
Are you serious?
Yeah, Reefer Mania. So the guy I partnered with, man, he a big time wrestling fan, and he just wanted to do, and it's a big successful event. Everybody loves to come do it, and we got all the approvals from the state, so we know what we got to do. The one thing is making sure that we don't publicize the address. That's that's the loophole.
Right,
Because if
right,
you
right.
publicize the address, then you can get in trouble. But if you say, hey, it's in Miami, DM for details, you're good to
You're
go.
good. You're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Now,
Because
if somebody gets the information and shares it publicly, do you guys get in
you
trouble?
can share it, right? So you can go right now. Matter of fact, I'm gonna send you a thing on Messenger, and so you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. It's not finished,
Uh-huh.
but it's finished for the people that's just coming to what we call gimmicks to come get their stuff. But if you look at it,
Wow.
it tells you specifically where you can go get tickets, but it just tells you it's in Miami. So
Right, right.
you have to go like to the ticket site or contact. I just sent it to you,
Okay.
and you have to go to the ticket site or DM so you can get the specific details. The only thing
Oh,
you
okay.
can't, yeah, the only thing you can't do is advertise an address. So it has to
Oh,
come across as a private event.
that's cool, man.
So that's the state of Florida law. And trust me, I told another homeboy of mine, man, he was like, he says, I don't have to, he says, I could do a party. I said, look, don't advertise the address. and he trusted it, and he sure enough ran a party, and it went off without a hit.
Everything was cool.
Yeah, because I told him, I said, what you want to do, I said, here's the thing. Go, wherever you're going to do it, go to the local police station and let them know you're doing this event. And they're going to tell you where, they're going to ask you, where is it? Tell them it's a private event. And they're going to go,
right.
because that's the setup. If you tell them where it is, that's the setup. Don't tell them.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, say it's a private event. And then when they say, oh, okay, we're going to come out, we'll probably assign an officer to the area, then you let them know. Don't tell them before.
Wow, that's cool.
So, yeah.
Now let's take it back, man. Let's take it back. I mean, you know, first and foremost, man, welcome to the Mental Margarita Show. And we've been doing all this talking for the audience to know. This is my childhood buddy. Like, we grew up together.
Yes, sir.
And we got a lot of memories, man.
Oh, man.
Jeff Razzle, we got JB Cool. That is the wrestling name.
Yeah. Yeah.
JB Cool is in the house. All Caribbean wrestling.
On the Mental Margarita. Boom. Doing what we do.
And we're doing what we're doing.
Yes,
now,
sir.
Miami was the start for you.
Miami. Yeah. Home base. Absolutely.
Dade County. And wrestling was always in your blood.
Wrestling was always there. And I mean, you know how I was when we went to school. I mean, it was, especially when I met up with you and AJ and the boys, it was, you know, music, met up in music class, playing basketball. But, you know, wrestling was never like, yeah, I'm gonna let you know, because that was something we did, like, you know, when we got away from school, got home on the weekends, it was Saturday morning, wrestling came on along with Kung Fu Theater, can't forget that. So shout out to Kung Fu Theater. Yeah, that was always a thing that outside of growing up, my Saturday mornings was, you know, my mom is old school country, so God rest her soul. It was, you know, get up, if you want to do what you want to do, clean up the house, clean up the yard, and then, you know, do your thing. And while everybody was going, watch this, while everybody was going outside to play, they don't do that no more. You know, I was staying, I know, man, it's crazy how shit changed. But I was staying a little bit, make sure I watched that mid-morning wrestling show.
Yes.
So Dusty Rhodes, you know what I'm saying, the Baron von Raschke's and all of them old school cats, and just, you know, I always had a love for wrestling. And then when it finally started coming on Saturdays at 6 o'clock, so, you know, that's how I used to set my Saturdays. I go watch wrestling, then I try to go play some ball on the courts, and then Saturday at 6 o'clock, when it started coming on at 6:05 on the TBS, I had to be watching that.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
And so that was something. Now, you know, we've had a wonderful time, you know, in middle school, and like you said, we played ball. I mean, remember Coach Marvin?
Coach Marvin, yeah, man. Oh yeah. Wonderful time. I mean, people don't understand sometimes, man, the biggest bonds you have in life is people you went to school with, because you knew them actually longer. Because, you know, after high school, everybody start going their own separate ways. You meet people for that time period, but that's just actually, when you grand scheme of things, when you take a look back on it, it's a short time period. Because if you go to college, the average time you go to college is what, 4 years, and so you know somebody 4 years. I'm just saying, that's my man right there. That's my man that was in my days coming up as a lover of music. Real talk was like, him and AJ was like, yo, y'all my two favorite. I remember y'all used to battle the dudes from NMB, Big Tall Chopper. What's his name? Chopper now? Whatever his name was back then. Otis. Big Otis. His goofy ass. And, like, what? I'm like, dude, don't act like you know who we know who you are from high school, dude.
Right.
All of that, but like I said,
we used to battle. You remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, with the beatbox.
And you bail me out sometimes.
Yeah.
I remember, man, you were an enforcer when someone wanted to mess with me. I'll never forget, you came in that locker room
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if I think it was Shayon had a problem with me or something like that.
Yeah.
And you came in there and you said, "Don't mess with my boy."
Mess with my boy.
You laid down the law, man.
I had to let him know because
I had no problems after that.
Exactly. You got to understand, like, some people, you don't look at it at that time, but when you look at it now, you're like, oh, wait a minute. These are my guys because we got to love together.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And that music connection, even though I didn't continue to pursue it, but it still was always there. It's like right now, I'll be telling my daughter, I'll be telling some of my friends, I'm like, man, if I really put my head to it, I think I could beat half of these dudes on the radio.
Right. You probably could. You definitely could.
You understand what I'm saying? But that's just that's just what it was. It's like back then you were holding yourself to be like, what is it that's going to be who you are today? And as we continue with this thing called life, like, who are the people that you made those connections with? And that's why I can tell you exactly the moment we made a connection. I'm gonna trip you out on this. We was in Mr. Calmer's class, JFK.
Oh.
And I'm gonna tell you, when you walked into the class, y'all was sitting to the left. You and AJ sitting next to each other, and y'all was bopping like this. Boom, boom, double, doom, doom, boom, boom, double, double. What's two dudes doing? I'm looking, I'm like, man, this is crazy. Because it's like, I know how it was in my household, but this here is cool what they doing because I'm into that. And when I went over there and asked y'all, I think you, or I'm trying to remember if it was AJ, one of y'all was beatboxing the "You Can't Touch This" beat. Not "You Can't Touch This." No, it was "Can't Touch This." You was going boom, 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 boom. I was doing that. I was like, I said, this is cool though. But being in the music class at the same time, so it was like, it was automatic. It was like, man, these dudes doing something cool. I don't know if that's the thing I could do, but because I don't get to do that freedom in my house. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's what I want to do. And I'll get in trouble for that. I don't care. That's what I want to do. And then that's what made the class cool. And I was just like, oh man, look at this. And that's why at the same time, I was like, man, these guys are playing, was it the trombone or the trumpet?
The trombone. We were playing the trombone.
The trombone, right? Yeah. I was like, I don't know about the trombone. They got that. So I said, I'm going to switch to the sax. And
I remember. You went to the sax.
So I was just like, and that's where just the love actually for music, but just entertainment. It was just from right there, just finding like, this is what I gravitate towards and I feel comfortable with it. I mean, I could do the school stuff, but as far as the fun stuff, this was that. And then
it was a natural transition for you.
Right. And then when I found out y'all played ball and we already had coach, I was like, oh my God, this is the world. I don't need nothing else.
It was, man.
That was it, man. That's what it was. But then, like, at the same time, my third thing outside of that was my love for pro wrestling. Like, I never forget
it. Was.
Like, man.
I'm telling you, man, this is so beautiful, brother, because you're right. I mean, that connection, it was so organic, and then we just became boys. And to see us now after all these years, I mean, this is really special to me. And what's also special to me is that you took one of your passions and you kept moving forward with it. And I know a lot of people are going to want to know that know you, that are watching this and might not be able to ask you this question, but when did you decide, okay, I'm going to take this professionally?
See, that's a good question. So going back to high school, after high school, I don't think any of us, just honestly said, hey guys, this is what we're going to do. I think we all had our obligations to our families, and that's not but love and respect. You can't do no worries about that. And everybody went their separate ways. My mom didn't have no money as far as trying to go get me into college or anything. So I had to take a detour, if you will, and do the military. Right. But a lot of cats did that too. A lot of cats that you be thinking like, man, I can't wait to see what this cat do, because they were getting a lot of praise and props, but you know, some of them just went right to the military because as much praise and props they were getting, they didn't have the resources.
Resources.
That's what it was. It was resources. And so going to the military, so that added like, okay, all the stuff we did with music and basketball and just having a good time. Remember that prom night with the Cisco? All right, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. But but you know, that added the discipline. And it easily made me transition to that part because that's how my mom raised us. My mom, again, God rest her soul, but she was a country lady and country woman, and it was always the discipline in the house, making sure the house clean, making sure you clean, making sure, you know, if you got nothing, you got the best of nothing. You know, that's how it was, the mentality. And so in the military, when that lined me up with a lot of discipline and training and all that stuff, and I was like, man, but I couldn't do that for like another term.
Right.
Know? So I got out and I was like, I got to do something else because it was funny. My military station was in San Diego. And on my weekends, I used to go down to LA trying to do something, you know. Right. But it was hard because when you're in the military, they train you so much, you start walking like you're in the military. So people know, like, man, you're in the military and you answering everybody, sir, yes, sir. And they're like, you don't have to say that. Sir, yes, sir. Okay. It's just routine, just because it got drilled in your head. Right. But I used to always try to go down to LA, go down and visit Tower Records, if you remember that. Tower Records. Go down to Hollywood Boulevard, just trying to sign up for stuff and see what I could do, but finding out that because you're in the military, you can't sign up for certain things, you know. Right. They don't tell you that in the military. They just straight drilling you and training you. Then when you try to go do things like, well, I got some free time, let me go do this. They're like, you're in the military. That means you're gonna be going back and you got no commitment to this. And I was just like, oh man. So that was always in my mind. So I did what I had to do in the military. When I got out, tried to I came back to Florida and I started working at and managing, here it comes, a Blockbuster. What? Yeah, when I got out of the military, because I only did the first 4 years. I got out, I started managing a Blockbuster. And I was like, man, but the only reason why I did that, I was like, maybe, you know, I can read up on some stuff and catch up on some stuff. Because back then we didn't have the access, we didn't have the Zooms, we didn't have the social media. None of that. Right. You actually had to go to a library, you know. Right. So it was a show for wrestling that came to the Miami Beach Convention Center. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I used to love going to see the shows in Miami Beach Convention Center. There you go. And I'm like, well, I'm making my own money now. And I went down there. And at that time, like I said, I had the straight up walk of the military, walked in, and one of the news reporters asked me, was I one of the wrestlers? I was like, nah, I'm not, I'm a fan. I said, but I wouldn't know how to get started in that. He was like, man, I could introduce you to somebody if you're serious. I wasn't serious, to be honest with you. I was actually interested more in meeting somebody because Dusty Rhodes was on that show. I'm like, I'm gonna say yes so I can meet Dusty Rhodes. Right. But some other guy comes out the back, and I mean, he looks like Farmer Joe, like somebody you wouldn't think is a wrestler. And I'm not thinking he's nobody, you know. And he comes up to me and he goes, hey, kid, you're interested in pro wrestling? I said, yeah, man, you know, I love it. I've been watching this since this, and that. He says, okay, once you come to my training school. I said, training school? He's like, yeah, let me see what you got. He says, everybody here goes there. So when he says here, I'm not thinking what I know now, how he's probably talking about the people I don't know, not the people on TV who travel. He's just talking about the locals. And I didn't know that's what he was talking about. I just heard everybody here, and I'm like, oh, Dusty Rhodes is here. Rhodes, right. I'll be there. You know what I mean? So he didn't tell me what to bring. So I call him up. I said, you know, excuse me, do I need to bring anything? He says, no. He says, I want you to come check it out and then see if you'd be interested. I'm like, yeah, all right, that's fair. You know what I mean? Right. And so I'm driving and I'm looking around. I'm like, wait a minute. This man gave me this address. Now you can curse on here? Oh, no.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
no, but
no. Well, I'm thinking he's
right.
full of it. I'm thinking he's full of it because I'm in a residential area. And I'm like, I don't want to be late. I don't want to show this guy that I'm not serious. And I don't want to miss if I get the chance to meet Dusty Rhodes. I don't want to miss this. But it's a residential area. And I seen a truck pull up to a house and I seen a big dude get out. I said, I wonder. But then on the other passenger side, I seen another dude get out with like a jug of water. And I'm like, they look like they're about to go train, or they probably get ready to pick somebody up. Let me pull over and see if they come right back out with somebody. And when I pulled over, somebody came up to the car because they know I'm not from the neighborhood. It was all white. It was all white neighborhood. They know I ain't from there. Dude comes up, he says, "Can I help you?" I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be parking on your grass." I said, I'm just trying to find his address. He said, "That's it across the street." I said, "That house?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "Oh man, this is crazy." He says, "Yeah, you can park over there." I was like, "All right." So I park and I go knock on the door, and some kid came to the door. He goes, "Hey, everybody's in the back." I said, "Oh, okay, this is crazy." But I'm hearing like this bumping, boom, boom, boom. Like, a black man in this white neighborhood. I mean, I don't know what is going. But you know what? Let me peek around the corner. And I peeked around the corner, and there was a wrestling ring in this man's backyard.
Wow.
And it was about 20 people just in the ring, taking rolls and taking falls. Boom. I was like, oh.
Wow.
I said, all right, so this is crazy. So I'm just looking around like I'm just shocked.
Right. You're like, wait a minute.
Right. What the hell? And then I seen the guy. He comes up to me, shakes my hand. "Hey, how you doing, kid?" He says, "I want you to sit down and watch this." I didn't say nothing. I'm just like, all right, let me just sit and watch, be respectful, because I could have easily just turned back around. I'm like, I'm seeing something in the backyard. I'm the only black man here. I'm about to get lynched. I said, but if it's going to happen, it's about to happen today. So let me sit. And I'm sitting and watching. And he was like, "What do you think, kid?" I'm like, "Nah, that looks easy." And he's laughing. He says, "Get in there and try it." I said, "Sure." And so I did the first thing, and man, it hurt. It hurt. I was like, wow. Oh. And what made me stick around was because when I got up and I sat on the edge of the ring, I looked over and everybody laughing. But when I saw these three chicks laughing, oh no, they can laugh. But y'all can't laugh at me. No,
y'all can't laugh.
You can't laugh at me. I said, all right. He says, "You're gonna come back tomorrow?" He said, "We can get started." Even though I'm in pain, I said, "I'm gonna come back." And everybody was kind of whispering, like, you heard him, like, "Man, I don't know if you coming back. You don't look like you coming back."
Wow.
And I'll be back. And I looked around. I said, "What I got to bring?" I got some shorts and t-shirts and some knee pads and stuff. And I went back and I kept going back. And come to find out through time, that's how a lot of people got trained, because pro wrestling wasn't as open as it is today. It was a closed business to where if they advertise where you could go get trained, then everybody and their mother would think they could do it, because they would all show up with the same mentality I had, thinking, who are they going to meet, versus actually taking it serious.
Taking it serious. Wow.
Right. And then come to find out, the guy that was training me used to be on those Gordon Soley shows. I kept looking at him, and I went back and I looked. Yeah, he used to be there. So that's how old all of the trainers sometimes come around. There's somebody that's experienced that can no longer do the TV stuff, and they start training you. You know? Yeah. And so I kept going back. And then finally, what really was the deal was he was actually waiting for a new facility to open that can house. Not, he only had one for training, but he had two he wanted to use for a beginner's class and advanced class. And so when that facility opened up, he said he finally got the deal, and we all ended up taking the ring, lugging it, moving it to the new facility, setting it up. And that was us paying our dues, learning how to break that ring down and set it back up. One day, that's all we did. We did it like 5 times. Just break it down, build it back up, break it down, build it back up. And you're talking about steel, wood, and all of that. And you look like, man, this is crazy.
Wow.
But when the veterans used to come by, they'd say, man, just learn it. Just learn it. He says, because what's going to happen? And I remember one of the guys that came by was like, man, you're going to end up knowing how to, if this wrestling part doesn't fully work out, or even if it does, you would know how to start your own thing if you so choose later on in life.
Wow.
Back, you're not paying attention to it, but it was doing that, and then the struggle of me having my firstborn, and man, it was crazy. That same year, there was a company that came from California,
okay,
that was doing tryouts for TV back then for UPN, and so the agent.
UPN.
And out of all of them wrestlers that tried out, they chose me, dude. Real talk. And it's called Urban Wrestling Alliance. Some people,
wow.
I'll probably send you a link or something.
I remember.
Yeah,
Urban Wrestling Alliance.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be it was a weekly show on UPN ran by this black dude. He used to also be the producer for the Moesha show and Judge Moesha and what's the judge? Joe Brown. No, not Joe Brown. The other judge. What's the judge? The popular judge. I can't think of his name right now.
Joe Brown.
Not Joe Brown, but it was the other guy, the younger guy.
Okay.
But yeah, and so I was like, oh man, this is cool. When he picked me, so I still thought, like, you know, I got my trainer on how I'm learning the business. And again, remember this, and that's the playbook, you know. It's like basketball right now. You remember how we came up? I had to be a forward. You had to be a shooting guard or point guard. I'm sorry. AJ had to be, you know what I'm saying? We all had to play our positions, but nowadays you got centers bringing the ball up the court.
Yeah.
So I try to tell the young people, I'm like, what y'all are seeing is y'all don't understand. During my era, we had to stick to a certain guideline of things.
Right.
And I said we were limited, even though we could have expounded, but that's not how the makeup of the business or the world was. It was, you know, you wouldn't get that opportunity to be a big power forward shooting J's. They would tell you, nah, take it down to the block.
That's
you know?
Right.
And I said the same thing the same thing y'all hear Shaq keep saying on TV, but he can only say that because he's 7'2" and 300 something pounds. He can do that.
Right.
I said, but then you got Kevin Durant, who's 7 foot, but he about 100 something pounds. He cannot take it to the block.
You can't take it to the block.
He ain't got no weight on him. So he had to learn how to shoot. I said, so you guys don't understand. Y'all in a different era, but back then it was you had to be a certain thing. And during my training, I was the only black dude. And trust me, if you don't have thick skin, and I just tell this to anybody that's listening at this little point right here, in the entertainment business, if you don't have thick skin, leave it alone. Or you better learn to grow it. Because let me tell you, you're going to get some stuff, you're going to hear some stuff, and people going to try you all type of ways, people you don't even expect, you know. But at that time, when I got the opportunity, when the company came, my trainer didn't even invite me out. You know, he invited out all the people he knew that looked like him to try to go get on TV. But I ended up going anyway because I
ended up getting it. See that?
And I ended up getting it. And that's real talk because I ended up always going. I was the guy that, like, literally, like, they were like, JB, you got to go home. I'm like, nah, let me do a couple more of these. I said, because I was watching some people that had their fathers, so they had that generational thing going on, or their cousins or uncles or somebody that got them in. But I'm like, only thing that got me in was I was a fan.
That's
you know,
it.
And now I got, I just got motivation because I can actually physically do it and see what it is that needs to be done. And I don't even know at that point if I'm being trained properly because you really don't know.
You don't know. Right.
You know, you're seeing all these people getting these opportunities and you thinking, I'm doing something wrong.
Right. There's something that's
ain't no way. There ain't no way I'm more athletic than all these guys and they getting more opportunities. So, you know, anyway, so I stuck with it.
You get the UPN thing.
Got the UPN thing, got on TV.
I mean, this is a bright news coming to your world of darkness, right?
Yeah.
And so what happens after that?
After that, everything literally flipped. Everything. So remind you, guess where I am though on UPN? Back out in California. You see what I'm saying? So because that's where they would fly us to do our tapings and do our live events. And I'm just like, wow.
Wow.
And I mean, I got invited to go to Jamie Foxx's house. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. You know, I'm watching this guy on the Jamie Foxx show, but I'm at his house right now. You know, so to me, I'm tripping. But when I get back to Florida, now all them guys that were downing on me and not wanting to give me an opportunity, they couldn't stop calling me.
Wow.
And it took one of these older veterans there was a brother, he got kind of thrown away too. And he was like, that's what they're gonna do. They ain't gonna give you the opportunity, but when you get it, now they all gonna become your friends. And he's like, you gotta watch out for that. He said, you just gotta learn to watch out for that. Learn how to maneuver yourself through that weave. And he said, because that's a game they playing. He says, because they could have been gave you the opportunity, but they didn't want to. But now that you earned that opportunity, they all on your coattails. And it's just like,
right.
He says,
they want to happen to wagon.
Right. And he told me, he says, one of the best pieces of advice he gave me, he says, don't dismiss them. Like most people say, oh, don't be trying to hop on the bandwagon. He says, let them. He says, let them. Just keep them at a leash, keep them at a distance, but let them. He says, so when they call you, show up. They ask you to do something, just tell them you can't. And, you know, he kind of taught me the game. He taught me how to the game. And it was crazy that's how I started making more money. Because a lot of people in the entertainment business don't know how to play the game. And I learned how to play the game to where, you know, you can't be in a certain place too long. You go make an appearance, but you get out. You know,
get out.
Little things like that. But as time went on, that company went bankrupt. And then I ended up getting calls doing, had a couple of WWE tryouts. And I did a lot of international stuff, which never would have ever been a realization or anything unless it was for wrestling. And I mean, I'm going places that I've only had read about, you know.
Wow. So you're traveling off this now.
Traveling off of this. And so when I got a call to go to Australia, you know, only thing I knew about Australia was Crocodile Dundee, you know.
Right. and kangaroos, man.
Yeah. And I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna send you the link. When I got there, man, they had a magazine. I was in the magazine. I was like, what is going on? You know, and then you started learning that in this business that, you know, once you do anything on TV, anything, you got people that you would never even think about that are following that specific show and become like fans of it.
That's
you
right.
know, because they're the ones that's helping making it big. And I didn't know because I was on TV that I had some weight behind my name. I didn't even know. I'm thinking I'm still that guy. Right. I'm still that guy that just got trained in Florida. All right, the company went bankrupt. I'm going back to Florida. You know, hey, it's over. So my mindset was
back to Blockbuster.
Back to Blockbuster, right? that's all I'm thinking. And my mind was, okay, I'm just gonna go back to Florida. Like I'm thinking everything that I did was only in California.
Right.
I actually wasn't thinking of the national ramifications of where it was. I had people coming out of jail. Hey man, people remember from the park, Washington Park.
From Washington Park?
Al.
Oh
yeah. This dude gets out of jail, goes, hey man, I saw you on TV when I was in jail. I used to tell my people that that's my brother, man. I was like, what? You telling people? But it was crazy. But yeah, then I'm getting calls. Like I said, when I went to Australia, I was like, I didn't think it was real until they sent over the thing, and I had to go pay $125 to a lawyer to like look it over. And I'm like, hey, look this over, and tell me what it is. They say everything's legit, and they say, are you okay with the funds? And I'm not gonna lie, they was gonna fly me to Australia, first class flight, hotel for 1 week, and pay me $3,500. And I was like, hey, I thought it was, so you can understand what I'm thinking.
I want the first thing smoking.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, this ain't real. This ain't real. But then they were like, it was real, and I sure enough did it. And I was like, wow, up there in the Blue Mountains in
that's
Australia,
so
man.
Cool.
Yeah. But it was so cool out there too. It was cool. And then like I said, so from that, it was still trying to get in with the WWE because they were the game. You know, everybody knows that's the game.
Right.
But when you start learning the game, you start actually learning there's way more than the WWE, way more. And most people don't know that because they only know what they see on TV, WWE.
Right, right.
But man, so I started hitting up all these other companies, and man, I found out, man, I ended up going from that blockbuster check about 20, 22 a year to now I'm almost making 6 a year, and I'm not even in the WWE. And I'm hitting what they call the indies. And I'm just like, wow. But all of this was because I had that TV credit. Huh?
You're hitting the independent wrestling companies.
Yeah. Yeah. That especially the international ones. Because they get the TV too. And so when they see somebody, they're like, yo, we're gonna get that person over here. And they're gonna make it worth your while. And I'm like, make it worth my while. I'll be there.
Right, man.
I'll be there. I'm like, right now, man, I be telling some people, they be like, JB, why do you do stuff in your international? I say, I built that relationships up a long time ago.
Right.
Long time ago. I said, you guys don't know because you don't do your research, but I built this up a long time ago, so you're welcome. I tell them, trust me, you're welcome. I said, because it's so competitive in the States with independents, there's really, as far as money, it's not that much to make. I mean, you make a little bit.
Let me ask you a question. JB Cool.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have to address you with that name, sir, after telling me what you just told me. So Mr. JB Cool.
Yes, sir.
You saw the movie The Wrestler? Have you ever seen that movie?
Seen it. Yeah.
How similar is an everyday life of a wrestler to what that movie portrayed? Does it get that dark and depressing and all that kind of stuff he was going through?
Yes. And,
wow.
Let me tell you about that movie and why I said yes. So that movie was about someone that was already famous and now is on the back end of the career.
All right.
And so if you saw the movie, a lot of it was, lost relationships with his daughter and family and stuff like that, because he was always on the road, always on the road. And so you got a lot of talents that got picked up in this business. And I'm just going to say it's wrestling business, but the entertainment business. And some of them get the rocket put on their back and it goes straight to the moon. And that's great in the moment. But then when they take that rocket off your back and ground you, and that's all you got behind you. So then you got movies or people like the wrestler who's on the other side of their career trying to go around to different indie companies and still pick up a payday.
Wow.
Sometimes it's not pretty because they got pains they never took care of. Because some of these old school guys, man, and no offense, and they know if they listen, I'm speaking the truth, is they don't take care of themselves because they're too busy trying to save money.
Wow.
In other words, oh, my ankle's hurting right now. I'd be all right. I'm not going to nobody. I'm going to save my money. My ankle will heal up in a couple of days. Or if I got to go in a couple of days, I'll wrap it up and put I'll put some kind of Bengay or something on it. I'll take a couple of ibuprofens and I'll keep it going.
Right.
Because they're so busy trying to save money because their mindset is, I better save this money now because I may not have it later.
Right.
So the sacrifice becomes their body.
Whoa.
You understand? Because if they took care of their body, they feel that, I'm not going to have the money later. And so I'm going to end up having to do something else to supplement that. And that's the transition struggle a lot of wrestlers have. And if you remember from the movie, he tried to work in that deli shop.
A deli shop, yeah.
Right. A job where he could go do it, but he doesn't have to be committed to it. So he can always keep the window open for he can go do his independent bookings.
Right.
You see how he tripped out when he cut his helmet.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's a lot of these guys because they got nothing else to fall back on because early in their career, they got that rocket put on their back and they went to the moon. And they thinking, can't mess with me. And now it's like, I see some of these old school guys, and when I get a chance to talk to them, I understand them more versus picking on them like, that's what you get for, not giving other people opportunities. I go ask them, I'm like, what is it that you would have done different? Why don't you want to teach? And, some of them give you good answers, some of them don't. But, I'm always trying to find a way to talk to them and get more information, because I let them know I'm running a company now. And the way I run it is I put myself in a tweener position where I got the old school in me, but I understand this new age, new era, new generation of people and talents, how to deal with them. I can't get on these talents like a coach or Mr. Marvin used to get on us. You can't get on, because you'll end up getting them. They're calling people on you nowadays, and so
they will.
You got to be patient with them now. Different era. So, yeah, man, a lot of that movie was, if based it on 100% scale, that movie was at least 88 to 90% true.
Wow. And it won awards because of that. It was
because
done well.
What they did was, I know they did a lot of interviews, because the main place where they held some of the tapings was in Central Florida in a town called Mineola. And the guy, he actually just recently passed away, one of the old school Wild Samoans named Afa. The Wild Samoans. And so, that take was from a lot of wrestlers that did interviews about what their career is like right now, since they're no longer on TV or they're no longer in the spotlight. And some of them start referring to, now their bodies are really, really talking to them like, hey, you got to do something for this. And so then they start taking extra medications and stuff. Like, hey, take 2, they'll take 4, Hey, don't do this or do this. They'll do it anyway because they think it's going to make them feel better, And now they were doing these interviews, and that's what they were taking to write this movie. They were like, because the director himself actually went on tour with a few of the old school wrestlers around just to see how it was with these old school guys, And so that's where he got a lot of his notes and script from. He'll tour with a few old guys, go with them, write down what he did.
He did his research.
Yeah. And so
and he did it well.
He did. And that's why a lot of the older school wrestlers, man, they tell you, like, man, if you saw that movie, it could be like that. Because some guys, what they turn to, the vices, man, it's their comfort, Some of them actually got, methods to tell you, well, I got to do this in the morning, I got to do this afternoon.
Right.
Is that doctor's prescribed? No. I just know my body.
I just know my body.
Yeah, I just like, oh, okay, all right.
Now, speaking of body, because there's been a dark cloud that kind of has been floating over the sport, wrestling. I was recently watching Mr. McMahon.
His Netflix.
McMahon, the documentary on Netflix.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it yet, you got to watch it.
Yeah.
And talking about Vince, and there's a part that talks about steroids, and it's talking about the drug usage. How prevalent is that still in the sport? Are they trying to clean that up? And how do you feel about that?
Well, the first thing is the business itself. When you're actually taught the business, it's like, hey, I like your personality, kid. And they will say things in so many words without telling you directly. And what I mean is, I'm gonna give you one of the lines. Taiwan, man, I like your look, man. You got a good personality, but this is a larger than life business. We need you to do something about that.
Wow.
Watch the ending. And when you do, come back and see me in 3 to 4 months.
Wow.
You heard what I just said, but what I didn't say.
That was deep, man. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand.
So
back to see me in 3 or 4 months too.
Right. Come back and see me then.
Whoa.
Feel me? So
wow.
They tell you but so much. and they leave it to speculation, or they'll tell you like, "Oh, T, where you live, guy in Brooklyn, man. I need you to listen to him because he knows what he's talking about. Do exactly what he wants you to do. Come back and see me in 3 to 4 months." He's a good trainer. So again, you talking about the steroids in the business. You remember that movie? I don't know if you saw it. It was I can't the title slips me, but it starred Mark Wahlberg and The Rock.
Oh, I think I know.
Pain and Gain. Pain and Gain.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
I saw that movie. Loved it.
So Pain and Gain was about them basically pushing in gyms.
In the gym, right.
Right. And that's what they tell you is, we're about to put you on this TV, national TV. You tell me when your kid or your nephew or your sister's kids or whoever go to a store, toy store, and they buy a superhero, what does Superman look like? Does he look like olive oil, or is he big like Pluto? You understand?
Yeah.
All right. So
bargaining.
A lot of it goes on, and the guys learn how to do it so they can come in looking good for TV. Because in this business, it's you're mostly either shirtless or you're wearing some skin tights, and you got to look great.
Right.
The business itself do not tell you that's what you have to do, or they don't put it on you to do it. They just tell you, hey, this is a larger than life business. We're about to put you on TV. We need you to look good. We need you to look like a champion.
Right.
Whatever that means to you. You know, the thing with Vince, again, I wasn't personally there to witness it or anything, but you hear stories and things like that. But I'm quite sure of him being the head promoter of a company and wanting all his guys and girls to look good, he probably had some people under the table.
Was able to look the other way, even though he knew what was going on.
Yeah. And what happened is that I know the story that came out, and I'm always saying when the story comes out is what happened before that, before the story came out, when the story came out that somebody was saying that he was doing this, and now they had to implement mandatory drug testing in the actual wellness program inside the company, but I'd say to each his own with that, because as long as you got somebody, because think about it, outside of doing it for vanity, because a lot of people do it for vanity reasons. Outside of doing it for vanity reasons, look good, steroids is used if you got asthma. Whatever, you know what I mean? What other stuff? It's just that now people were looking at like, oh, well, you're using it for competitive advantage. Well, we know what wrestling is. Come on.
Right.
Listen, I'm gonna say this on live, and I don't care what nobody thinks, because I've been doing this too long. Hey, if wrestling was real, we wouldn't be doing it. Right. I'm gonna just say that, dude. You know what I mean? I'm gonna think about it.
There you go.
MMA guy might be your favorite guy. Fights tonight, you're not gonna see him for another 6 months. If I'm your favorite wrestler, you're gonna see me next week. Right? So I'm gonna say that, right?
There's the myth buster right there, okay?
There's the myth buster. Hit the button. But the thing is, like I said, for the vanity portion, then you got someone that knows the business is going to tell you, you look this way, you get all of this.
Right.
Or I could take you as is, and we'll see what we can do.
We'll see what we can do.
And you got those people that's YOLO. You only live once. Let's go for it.
Right.
They go and they get legitimate blood tests, make sure that they can actually, whatever. They go through a program, and next thing you know, you be looking like, dang.
Right.
She get them legs like that. Or, I know the behind the scenes, that the behind the scenes, especially with women, I know the behind the scenes, which could be depending on your preference. It's two things you can look for. They'd be like, yep, she on that juice.
She's on the juice.
Yeah,
She's on the juice.
I'm gonna go ahead and bust the myth right now, so I'm about to trip you out on this. If she's got some big legs and she's looking, nice, and we as guys, we like to see women in those sundresses and tights, right?
Right.
If she's in those tights and that clit looking mighty fat, just letting you know, guys, it's looking big as my thumb. If it's big as my thumb, that's that juice that does that. The guys be tripping me out. I had a student that told me, JB, man, I gotta talk to you, man. I can't. I said, what's up, man? He says, this is gonna be weird. And he asked me that question. He says, what does it say about a girl? I said, bro, he had me laughing. I said, that's your first time? He goes, yeah. I said, nah, man. Does she work out a lot? He goes, yeah. How do you know? I said, I'm just telling you what it is. So I ain't no bodybuilding chicks. I know they mad at me right now.
Oh man.
Well, yeah,
hey,
man.
JB, now I know why you got the last name Cool, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
But and again, this business in itself is a vanity business. So
it is.
You get to live out and be a character that you want to be, and travel the world and get paid for it. It's still crazy. It's like you are almost like a superhero. You're a comic book character. You got your heroes, you got your villains. And then, like I said, depending on how far you want to push yourself, you do got people that would tell you, like I said, like, man, you look at me and you right now, and people won't know we are the age we are because we keep ourselves up. So that's what they do in the business. They're like, man, you look great. Like, in other words, they're saying, like, man, I could probably get 10 years out of you. Just go put on a little bit of size, man, and you're gonna be making millions.
Wow.
And sometimes that entices people depending on the situation where they come from. I mean, you got some people
you
that
better
come
get that juice. You better get that juice, man.
You gotta get it. Because you got some people that come from well-off situations, so they're not worried about it. But you got some people, man, that you'll probably run into.
And all jokes aside, I think that you just hit it right there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know someone's situation, and I'm not excusing it, right. But I'm just saying that you have to really look at it all.
You got to look at it all, because what I said to you earlier is how it's in other medicines and stuff that we actually need for other illnesses. That's how to get preached to you. Even though we're going to be using it for the vanity part, but that's how to get preached to you. Like, look, if you don't believe me, they'll tell you. Go ask a doctor. And there's a doctor like, yeah, we use steroid and this, and that. And it'll get you thinking. And then, because me and you in the entertainment business, man, we could randomly go to a club and you'd be like, oh my God, look at this. Ain't she bad? And then you find out that she lives like crap. And it's just like, how is it that you this bad? Our mind as a man is like, how is it that you this bad looking? So you look great, but you living like this. What's wrong with you?
What's going on?
What's wrong with you? And it could be nothing. It could be nothing. She maybe just probably got out of something, and that's just a current situation. We don't know. But when you get sat down and someone tells you, hey, I can get you this, and then when you look up the person, nowadays you can look anybody up. When you look up the person and they are who they say they are, your mind starts going, oh, wait a minute.
Right.
Let me see what they talking about. And then hit you with, like, just tell you what, go work out, talk to my guy, come back and see me in 3 to 4 months, and we'll see.
My guy in Brooklyn.
Again, I personally tell people, like, it's at the end of the day, you got to live beyond wrestling.
I love that.
So
love that.
It's your body, your choice, but I want you to know that after wrestling, you still got life to live.
That's right.
If your body become addicted to anything, when you no longer have these lights on you, you still might be addicted. Then you got to either break that or live with that. And then what you going to do? When you're not making the money to afford to keep up with that.
Right.
So, you know, I tell
I love you saying that. And let's end that there because I think
okay,
that is so positive and so strong.
yeah,
I want to ask you this. All Caribbean Wrestling.
yeah,
Tell me about All Caribbean Wrestling. Is that the recent? That's the now?
that's the
In the
now.
future, what are we looking at?
Well, like I said, going back, this is actually homage to the beginning of my career.
Awesome.
And remember what I said, I was trained where I was still considered a black man that shouldn't be doing this business.
Right.
And historically in wrestling, if you're a fan, you had guys like SD Jones,
OSD.
all these guys, Abdullah the Butcher, all these guys that people don't get the commercial credit, but everybody know who they are.
Right.
Majority of their career, 90% of their career was in the islands that nobody would never know.
Wow.
And a lot of minority wrestlers throughout history was from a island somewhere. There isn't too many minority wrestlers that isn't from an island somewhere.
Coco Beware.
Right. He would tell you he's from Tennessee, but his background is part Jamaican.
Right.
You know, even look at the guy Kofi Kingston. He wasn't from Jamaica, he's from Ghana, but he was representing Jamaica.
Yeah.
You know, and so a lot of, you know, Mexican wrestlers, the Latino, Puerto Rican, all of them, you know, a lot of minority wrestlers, I'm gonna say minority wrestlers, were from an island. And if you ever notice, mostly the minority wrestlers who became the villains were from parts unknown, some crazy place or whatever. And because wrestling was always sold as an American sport, always.
Sport. Yeah.
And you're talking Midwestern, Oklahoma, Idaho, all of them.
Right, right.
That's where Cincinnati, Ohio, all of that, that's where wrestling was sold as a primary business.
Right.
So coming up and understanding that a lot of these wrestlers were being told, hey, you're from New York. Hey, you're from Miami. Hey, you're from Tennessee or you're from Texas. When their background is Caribbean. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Now in this environment, because back then this company couldn't exist, it just straight up. But because of this climate and this environment, everybody is now free, well, technically free to say who they are, where they're from, and people more embrace it now. And so I'm like, well, wait a minute. I had my company in Florida, and it was back and forth. Like, you know, you have some good days, you have some bad days. But now I was like, well, what can I do to provide a platform for people that look like me?
Right.
That's how wrestling has always historically been. You know, because I challenge anybody that somebody is our age, even older or younger. I say, I guarantee whoever was the world champion was a white dude.
Right.
I said, I guarantee it. Don't matter. When we was coming up, we had Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior.
Right.
Other kids got Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, you could throw The Rock in there, but The Rock was on a different stratosphere.
Right.
You know?
Bruno Sammartini.
You know, right.
You know.
These white dudes. And it was just like, you know, and so I tell them, I'm like, well, because of this climate environment and because pro wrestling has been prevalent in a lot of these countries, which was, I just named some of the guys, which was Trinidad and Tobago with Abdullah the Butcher and SD Jones and Victor Jovica and all these guys. Of course, you have Puerto Rico, you have Bahamas where the NWA went with Kevin Sullivan, the Haitian Sensation, Tyree Pride. So you had all this historically people that people know, but they primarily base was in the islands. So doing my research as far as for a numbers game, I looked up the highest based fan base because I knew wrestling was always heavy in Florida. But in Florida, it's so many independent companies trying to get a status where we're almost painting with the same paintbrush, just different name company.
Right.
You know? And so numbers wise in the world, the number one fan base for pro wrestling is the Asian market, but you got
That's
Japanese.
number one.
Number one. Number two is the Indian market. Number two, India.
Wow.
That includes the actual country of India and anyone that calls himself an Indian, which a lot of people in the islands are West Indians.
Right.
Right. Number three is America, of course, America, and then 4 or 3 and 4 is kind of, it was almost the same, where you had the Spanish Latin market, because you got Mexico, you got Puerto Rico, you got all the Spanish countries. And so when I saw the Indian market, I'm like, well, wait a minute. I know Trinidad is built up of a bunch of West Indians. I know Jamaica has that's what they consider themselves, because especially they're all under majority of them still all under a British rule. So
that's right.
Whatever they got, they get. And that's what they're accustomed to. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, you guys are a big market, and you had historically famous figures that came from here, but why has pro wrestling never been there?
Ooh.
Never. And that's historically, you can look that up. They have never been there. So I said, wait a minute, let me do some homework on that. And I started going to the islands and talking to them and speaking with people in tourism and stuff. And they said, no, we've never had it, but we love pro wrestling. We love it. And I'm like, I know y'all do. And I was like, you know what? Let me do a sample show. I did a sample show in Trinidad, and we probably had about 2,500 people that just showed up. I was like,
wow,
look at this. And
are you serious?
Yeah. So,
wow.
Oh, well, here's the bonus. You ready for the bonus? That's 2,500 people at the door. The country flew us over there and put us in the hotel, and I kept the door. Right. Because they're tourist departments, and they have a sports department. They all get a budget to do events or do something, because their number one form of business is tourism. So I said, wait a minute, this could be a thing.
So you got a tourism budget that's allocated to do special events within that area.
Exactly.
And wrestling being such a popular, demanded sport, it's all yours, buddy.
And guess what? And I'm the only company, so there is no competition. The only competition I have.
Oh God, I love it.
The only competition I have is when they watch WWE on TV, but I don't have those independent things. So what I did was I went to my Rolodex, made a couple calls. So I got my guy Mark Henry, who's he's a WWE Hall of Famer, and he was like, "Wait, you're doing what?" I said, "Man, look," I said, "This is the numbers," and I showed him the numbers. He says, "In Trinidad?" I said, "Yeah," and I plan on hitting Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Bahamas. I said, "I'm going to hit these places up." He says, "I want to come along." And sure enough, we go out, and that's what been almost our average draw. And then Bahamas just now, we just came back from last month, but just now they want us to come out there more than we hit any other island, and basically say, what do we got to do to keep y'all coming here?
Whoa!
Yes,
come
sir.
On.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And
come on.
So now I was like, you know what? I could sacrifice my Florida company and say, you know what? This is just going to be a business move, because I run the company. But I could pull the resources from it and just switch it over, and then pull this forward. And now, because I named it All Caribbean, all the Caribbean islands are like, yo, that's our thing. So now, if it goes down in the history books today, they can say we had our own company, our own pro wrestling representation, with our own representation, our own people from our own places.
Oh my goodness. And I love the name.
Yeah.
All Caribbean.
Yeah. Simple.
See that letter A in that name? Is so important.
It is.
Oh yeah.
All Caribbean. And so now we even got a call and request to do an event in Barbados next year. And I'm just like, wow, look at this.
Wow. Oh,
look at this. And so,
I'm so proud of you, brother.
Thank you, man. And now we just actually signed a TV deal. So with the network company, Tempo, and we're gonna be every Caribbean, all in the Caribbean diaspora on TV. And now also behind the scenes, me and a couple of my guys, we're building an app. So gonna be available on iPhone and Android.
So you can get the ACW app.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to get that soon. Yes, sir.
And that app is going to have some matches that are on there.
It's gonna have the weekly TV show because most, like I said, the TV is in the Caribbean because it's all Caribbean. If you want to watch it in the States, you can download the app.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, yeah. So everybody's excited right now behind the scenes. And like I said, Mark Henry, the last event, man, he had us Farouk and Bradshaw, the APA. They were at the last event, and everybody's just, they like it because the first thing is it's different. Nobody has ever stepped foot to do wrestling like how we're doing it.
So different. I love it.
So different. And now it's like
I'm so happy for you, brother.
Bro.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And it's like, man, now that I control the book, it's crazy because I had my homeboy, who actually lived in Florida. He's a state senator, and he used to wrestle. But he was like, man, what can I do to get on that? Get on that. I say less. It's me. So, right. You ain't got to go through that, what we went through coming up. It's me. It's different.
Right.
And so I ended up on the book. I put him down, and I said, let me use your credentials. Use his credentials. They flew him over free, put him up in Margaritaville. And
come on, man.
Yeah. And so, doing that, now the Caribbean, they embrace it to the point where now it's like, when are y'all coming to us? And now I'm on the side of, well, let's sit down and talk about it.
and it's only going to expand. It's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right. And they project by 2026, this is going to be more of a almost a thing to where people got to go home and say, okay, all Caribbeans get ready to come on, because again, we're the only game in town, or
right.
We're the only game. And the only thing I have to fear right now is somebody with big buku money want to come in and just try to swoop in and take whatever. But what me and Mark Henry been doing, we've been telling these people, especially the tourism board, like, hey, we want exclusive rights. So if anybody come in, they got to go through us.
That be in agreements. Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Buy us out, baby.
Yes, sir. Buy me out for that. Yeah. At least for that night. Or we can work together. You can give me some of your talent. I'll advertise your company. You advertise us back, and we can have a working relationship. So,
I'm so proud, and anything that I can do to help, or we'll talk. Anything that I can do, bring someone your way. I don't know if you guys are looking for more investors or whatever the case may be.
I'm gonna tell you what we're looking for right now. Yeah, we're looking for, of course, more investors, because we want to be able to present that, hey, we're on this TV network, so here are our numbers, so they can see the numbers in real time. Like, they can research the network, and then they can look up the company and do. But we'll be able to present it. We'll be able to put together our pitch and a pitch deck for them, and here it is, and all the people that are involved. Because having Mark Henry involved, his name alone,
that's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah. That's very huge.
He is a WWE Hall of Famer, but he's also was the world's strongest man, because he also right now currently sits on the deciding board for the U.S. Olympic Committee for weightlifting.
Wow.
So he brings a lot of weight with him. So so you got him, and then you got a couple other people that's going to be coming in as far as fulfilling roles, as far as in the background, making sure that now we got the location, now we got the feet on the ground, and now that we have the distribution, now it's all going to be about the presentation of the quality of our board and getting the big time investors and sponsors.
Right.
We already got the tour. Huh?
No, I'm saying the big time investors and sponsors. Yes.
Right. Because we already got the backup of each island, their tourism from their government, and we got the sport. So it's tourism is one and then sport. So we got that. So we can present letters and we can present whatever it need be and show that we actually have it. Now, if you guys want to come in and make this thing even bigger,
let's make it bigger.
We could make it bigger because be honest with you, the plan would be if it's anybody, we could take it to the network is just for the Caribbean, but we could take it to somebody to do a bigger network. Somebody like for example, in the Caribbean, Digicel is like the Xfinity of the Caribbean,
Right.
Comcast of the Caribbean. If Digicel want to pick it up and put on their network, then you're talking about it's hitting all the Caribbean and all of Latin America.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, but we'll be able to pitch them and say, hey, look, this is who's behind it. This is who could come, shake hands, kiss the babies, take photo ops, and we can get things done. Because the company we are now, we're self-sufficient to the point where we produce our own stuff. So we don't have no outside production companies. And we book their own talent, and we own the equipment. So they're coming in as far as any investment is like, you would be more on the growth of being able to sit at the table to pitch our backing to a bigger network because we have the equipment. We have all of that. We need you for the next level stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
See?
That influence.
And speaking of next level, this episode, everybody that's watching this episode right now, and anyone that's interested in all Caribbean wrestling, in any kind of business form of expression or suggestion that you may have, how do we get in contact with you?
Easy. All Caribbean Wrestling at Gmail. Or go to the allcaribbeanwrestling.com website.
I love this cat.
Yeah, go to All Caribbean Wrestling on IG.
I love it, baby.
Yeah, we're there. All Caribbean Wrestling on Facebook. We're in all those places. Hit me up directly, and I tell you guys, we'll send you over a press kit, our package, and you can check us out, and you'll see what we're about.
Well, I know what you're about.
Yes, sir.
My dear childhood friend, my brother for life.
Yes.
I think that there's going to be a resurgence of our brotherhood. I know that we had to do a hiatus as far as you doing your thing. I had to do my thing in life. You know how that go.
Yeah, exactly.
But like I said, it's all about timing, brother.
Yeah, there's nobody that face those memories. Like I said earlier, we could be in Oklahoma, we could meet up, and I see that's not Slick T to me. That's not Slykat. That's Taiwan Harold. That's the man. It'll always be there. Always. Yes, sir.
Hey, I thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I love you, brother.
Love you too.
I can't wait to meet your family one of these days, and we gotta sit down and chop it up real soon.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
All right, love you, brother. Be good.
Love you too, man. Be easy.
And welcome to the Mental Margarita Show, ladies and gentlemen. We got Dion Leon. I love the name, first and foremost. Where do you get the name from?
So pretty much, my name is Dion. My dad's name is Dion, but my grandmother recently, she just passed away. Rest in peace. But
rest in peace.
My name originally would have been Leon because my father's name was Leon. But during a divorce, she just changed the first letter to a D. So that's what I'm like. I'm gonna keep them together, But Dion Leon, since that would have been my original name, Leon. Anyway.
That's smooth, man. That's hot. I'm feeling that.
Appreciate it.
And so Chicago, Midwest Chicago, Chi-Town?
Yeah, that's why I was born. Just left not too long ago. Always there representing Chicago every day. So you got to do it. That's how I live. I don't represent the violence. I just represent the city, the city love. I'm not a part of the violence that's going on, nothing like that.
I love that. I love how you say that because it's senseless and it's when you see our own people, and it's crazy. And I don't care if it was our own people or anybody in particular. It's just it's terrible.
It is 100%.
So how was your childhood like?
Man, I was raised by my mom most of my childhood. You know, she did everything she could. Unfortunately, she did pass away last year. You know, but she was my biggest
Oh, sorry
cheerleader.
to hear that.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But she was my biggest cheerleader. She always supported me in this. You know, I did a show right before the Super Bowl. It was a part of it, and I didn't make the Super Bowl cut, but she kept telling me just keep going. You know, it doesn't matter about this. Just do it. Keep going, and everything will work out. And you know, now I'm here and still got a show tonight. And she was right. You know, this was my dream, so I had to stick to it. I got a shirt representing her today, so you know, I do
Oh,
this all for
let's
her.
see.
You
Let's
know,
see. Is there any way we can see a picture of? Wow,
yeah,
look at the
I'll have to
beautiful
send. I'll
queen.
have to send you a picture, but yeah,
Wow, beautiful queen.
thank you so
A
much.
mother. I'm saying that's amazing. You know, our mothers are so important, and I think as we get older, we truly realize the sacrifice and what they've done to make it possible for us to even be here, right? To see you get through that and to pursue your dreams. She's smiling because you know she's in a good place.
Yes, he is 100%. Mom would play like these gospel songs that had like these R&B feels, and they always just like always I don't know, like that feeling like I felt like I was there. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I was experiencing the songs and just the messages. And I'm like, you know, because I make some gospel songs. I wasn't huge on just gospel, but ever since the kid, like when she did that, it played a huge part in my ear. It's like I have to make people feel like they're in the room with me or they're involved with me, even though they're listening to
Right.
the finished product.
And I love the fact that you seem to have a vulnerability about you when it comes to the music thing.
Yeah.
So this is something that's it's in your blood, it's in your veins.
100%. I believe in my grandmother wanted to be a singer, you know, and she has a beautiful voice. I have aunties who sang background for Luther Vandross. So yeah, I do believe
Wow.
it's in my blood.
So you're doing your thing, the music is in your blood. When do you get this itch and you're saying, okay, you're saying to yourself now, I'm ready to take it professional?
Man, you know, just like so you I mean I started at 19. That's when I first got my open show with Twister, and I made around that time we had over about a 500,000 views on one song. It was going viral on YouTube at the time, like when YouTube was just coming out. It was back in 2000, like 13, 12 maybe. But yeah, it was
Wow.
around that time when I was starting to make a little bit of money off of that one song, and then getting shows based off of that one song. I even opened for Little Dirt when he first was coming out on that one song.
Wow.
So yeah, man, it really started young. It started at 19, and I feel like you know a lot of people don't realize it, but independent artists are professional as well, especially once they start making that bread. In my opinion,
Right. And professional is an attitude as well.
100%.
You know, how you conduct business, your mannerisms, how you carry yourself, and how serious you are about your craft. So you're working with legends. I mean, how do you feel like working with Twister, man?
Man, when we met him, you know, it was like a dream come true because I remember seeing him as a kid, like on, you know, the videos and stuff, and like, man, that's Twister, like from as a kid. But when we finally got to, you know, see him and meet him and talk to him in person, he felt like he was a real down to earth person that, you know, he had the same dream. And I felt that, you
Yeah.
know, as a young kid. So after that, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely like this is it. You know, I didn't feel like, you know, some people meet that idol and they be like, oh, they're not what I thought. He was everything I thought and more, to be honest.
Wow. And what was something that you learned as you're performing and opening up? Was there anything that you're learning as you're going through this process?
Man, the whole time, you know, people were kept telling me, you know, you need to focus on the lyrics a little deeper, you know, be more conscientious, more relatable. at the time I was just, kind of making songs that were catchy and hits, but I wasn't always hitting every single point. Now I'm a little more with that context, getting more things in there, talking about that mother who might have one job but raising three kids, whatever the subject matter is, as opposed to just talking about the normality of what's going on around me.
That's deep. And once you remove your ego, you're able to touch the people, right?
That's it. That's it.
So by 2021, you're continuing the winning streak.
Yeah.
You start off with 500,000. You're doing your thing. You open up for Twista, Little Dirk. Now you're doing the bass god himself, Little B. Tell me about that.
Yeah. Oh man, Lil B, man, that guy's amazing. I got to meet him in person, work with him in person, and when we even did that song, it was incredible. That's a legend right there as well, a big legend in my generation. But that experience and that whole song, it was amazing. I originally, just made the song on my own, and it was doing really well. And then, all of a sudden, because I had maybe 5 years before, I had connected with Little B on SoundCloud. And after that, he heard that song from my SoundCloud. I was like, I want to be a part of this. And he's like, I think this is a hit. He told me straight up, he's like, I think you have a hit song. And, the song I even told today, like at any moment, that song might even take off even further than what it has, just because a lot of people haven't heard it. It's going to be like, brand new to them once they finally hear it.
And I like how you say that, because for all the independent artists that are watching, when you create music and we go out there and we campaign and we promote and we market, there's a big world out here. So sometimes you might have something on that hard drive that is ready to just shock the world, man. The world hasn't heard it yet. And now life substance, when we think of your music, let's talk about your music now, because you learn that you have to be more lyrical. You got to be more conscious. So how do you feel during this journey? How do you feel your music is evolving?
At the beginning, it was definitely a lot more hip hop, more, party, club life, getting that girl. Then, after life kind of hits you, and you even with the, like you said, with the music, it got more R&B-ish, it got more down to real life. I made a song called Sunshine. It's crazy. Within the song, I am talking about my current relationship, but I'm also talking about family, at the same time. And at that age, I wouldn't be able to do it. And back when I was first starting. And, that's why I'm listening to it now. It's just so many more points in there, pretty much letting people know how important they are. It's not about these things. It's not about, it's about sunshine. Like, without sun, without light, we wouldn't even notice a lot of these things or care. We were all stuck in the dark. So that's why I'm like, within the song, I'm bringing back how important sunshine is and how important light is into your life, more than materialistic things.
That's right. That's absolutely right, because you never see a U-Haul in back of a hearse.
That's it.
So it's very important that we appreciate the most simplistic things in life.
Yes.
And it's so funny because when you go to other countries and stuff like that, I mean, you live in America, it'll be, I mean, it's a very quick lesson that you learn how blessed that we are. And that's fantastic. And I think that you're blessed. And you're so blessed that in 2023, you win the Coast to Coast mixtape thing. Tell me about that.
It was actually at the Blues Bar in Phoenix. And yeah, I was down here. I won the last year's show, and with that, it pretty much was a dedication to my mom. I actually performed one of her favorite songs that she liked. It was called Thankful. And I think I might have sent it to you in the past, but it did really well. And from there, they let me know, hey, you're probably the next person from this who might become somebody, just because we like where your music is headed. We don't know what everyone else is doing, but we get what you're doing. So they even gave me, some sponsorships because they felt like I needed some help, and even gave me
Wow.
some marketing. So I'm still working with them to this day. I have a few more shows with them, but definitely it was a great opportunity, and I'm still reaping the benefits.
You seem to be very, very focused.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that challenge you as you go along this journey? What are some of the obstacles that you face that you have to get through when it comes to adversity?
Oh man, I know there's a lot of adversity based on, how long I've been doing this. People always have their own styles in music, so they'll feel like you should do this style, you should do that, try
Right,
this, try
right.
something different. But I would say the biggest adversity over all of anything, is knowing that, you're doing this for your children. You want them to have a legacy as well, and to go back and say, this was meant for something, where people can't, use that against you. Be like, what was this for? What was wasted all that time? So, that's my biggest thing. And I'm like, I know at the end of the day, that's how I'm going to get over it, by always working towards, those little obstacles, talking about it, reminding people that this isn't easy. This wasn't, something that's given. This wasn't all party and fun. This actually took work, took poetry, took literature, took art, everything, that people learn as writers is the same thing in music, and we just don't acknowledge it enough. That's why Kendrick, I think, is one of the greatest rappers, because his lyrical pen, he writes a lot of his music compared to his oppressor Drake, who has a lot of co-writers. So it's just kind of proof, you have to be a writer, and it's the same thing, but you're actually having to perform it as well instead of read the book. You get to read the book out loud instead of just sell the book.
Right. And you can tell that it actually comes from the heart.
Yes.
Kendrick has got a very deep passion for art.
Yes.
And you can feel that, right away. And I feel that way when it comes to you. I mean, just by us sitting here just chopping it up. Now, what is anything that the fans can look forward to in the next couple of months or weeks?
I'm dropping a few more singles this week. I'll have a album. It's called May the 4th Be With You. It was going to drop on the 4th of July, but I decided to drop it a little bit later after Kendrick dropped Not Like Us. I'm like, man, it was just blowing up at the time. So I'm like, I'm just going to drop it a little bit late.
How does the fans follow you and all that good stuff?
You can follow me on Instagram. It's DionLeon90s. So it's pretty much my rap name, but just 90s with an S at the end. You'll see a picture of me, or if you see one of my posts, however you look it up. Also, you can follow me on Spotify. It'll be Dion Leon. YouTube as well, Dion Leon. If you see music and mixtapes, that's me as well, working with other artists. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And of course, if you have any of my information, of course, always hit me up.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very amazing, soul, talented, focused man that's on a mission, and his mother is right there guiding the way. Dion Leon. And hey, we appreciate you on the Mental Margarita Show, and we got to collaborate, man. We got to do some stuff in Vegas.
Oh yeah, I'll actually be in Vegas soon, so definitely.
It's time to do it, my brother.
All right.
Pleasure speaking with you, man, and I'll see you soon.
Yes, pleasure meeting you, talking to you. Thank you so much, man.
All right, let's shake the world.
Good vibes, baby, only. Good vibes, baby, in my life. Even when it seems hard to see, I know everything will be alright. Stay real, cause I live my life. Good woman, and that's my type. One day she'll be my wife. You gotta live your life. I'm thankful what we had. I'm thankful what we had. We might not have a lot, but I know I got you. Thankful what we had. I'm thankful what we had. We might not have a lot, but I know I got you. Wake up in the morning. Wake up. things right. Thank God just before I eat, cause I know I'ma get my shine. Work hard cause it took some time. Every day I had to spit them rhymes. Don't miss no line. Thank mama cause she made me try. Work hard even when I'm on time. I work hard even when I didn't shine. Damn right, better watch your behind, cause I swear they'll take what's mine. Break a heart, then pay no fines. Commit no crime. I'm thankful what we had. I'm thankful what we had. We might not have a lot, but I know I got you. Thankful what we had. I'm thankful what we had. We might not have a lot, but I know I got you.
Are you looking for the perfect outfit for your next night out or a unique gift for a special occasion? Look no further than Apricot Lane Boutique of Las Vegas. Visit us at Jansen Plaza, located at 5025 Blue Diamond Road, Suite 109, Las Vegas, Nevada 89139. For more information and for store hours, call 702-202-2996.
Starstruck, here's a sprinkle of the stardust. Hold your champagne glass and your cigars up. See the guys with mob ties drive the cars up. Bright lights, most nights they buy the bars up. Candy coated Chevy cars on the highway. It's Frankie baby, it's on and this is my way. Dean Martin at the Sands this Friday. With Sammy Davis, here's a little hint where I stay. The city shines like Liberace's mansion, and you know Elvis had the whole city dancing. Showgirl silhouette steady prancing. Shout out to June, just the Copa Girls anthem. Legal gambling, yeah, that would tempt me. It's Sin City, holy water couldn't cleanse me. And Wayne Newton had the crowd in a frenzy. Live at the Stardust, the seats never empty.